All I wanted for my December 4th birthday was one season launching win at Detroit. Season launch into games I know we could have won against the Vikings and the Chargers at home, at Washington, at Giants, steal the NFC East out from under those sorry-ass Philadelphia Eagles as they limped toward the finish line. We were right there, and we didn't even come close. Team T's ripped my guts out again. After everybody on Arena Gridiron picked Dallas to beat Detroit, including me, after I made a pregame video in which I said I wasn't even sweating this one. I just thought we were better than reeling Detroit, losers of 4 of their last 7. I should have known it when I saw that Amon-Ra St. Brown was going to play after Dan Campbell said after the Thanksgiving loss at home in the same building to the Packers that there's no way he was going to play for a week or two. Not only did he play, he caught 6 balls for 92 yards. And he was the detonator for the Detroit Lions, who played like wounded tigers. I knew they would. I knew they were going to scratch and claw for their coach. But the difference was Amon-Ra St. Brown played, and I thought, okay, he'll catch a couple of balls, but he'll be limpy, gimpy. No, full speed ahead. That was the driving force of the Detroit Lions tonight in a game that was never close. I know we cut it to whatever it was, 30-27. It wasn't close. They were going to get the ball back and they were going to go score. Because as I said in my pregame video, I knew it when I started to read this week that, what? Jadeveon Clowney is not practicing with a hamstring? Where did that come from? Did he do it in practice? I don't know. I didn't think he did it against Kansas City. He sacked Mahomes twice. Jadeveon Clowney was the biggest reason that my defense did what it did over the last 41 minutes to the Philadelphia Eagles, in which they did not score a point. And for much of the game against the GOAT, Patrick Mahomes, Clowney got him twice. Clowney was all over the place. Clowney was making athletic tackles for losses right and left. He was changing life in defense because he had changed back into the first pick in the draft. And I said, at age 32, he's still got a lot of ball left in him. And then he didn't play. He didn't even try to play. I don't know. And we couldn't get to Jared Goff. You can't let Jared Goff get comfortable. He's a scarecrow in the pocket. He's flimsy. He's soft. He flinches. He grimaces. He shrinks. He folds up. You just have to get after him. And we got him early. Osa got him one time. That was the only play I saw Osa make all night. And then after that, nobody got him. And the truth was, from the start, Coach Schottenheimer did not have his team as ready to play as Coach Campbell had his team ready to play. That was the guts of the game. That's it, right there. We just weren't ready for their emotional onslaught. Simple as that. You could just see it from moment one. And my quarterback, Dak Prescott, who was on an MVP tear, too often tonight, especially in the first half, reverted back to bad Dak. Duck Prescott, like duck, quack, 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 duck, 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 duck. He missed CeeDee 3 or 4 times. A couple of them CeeDee managed to catch. One time he had CeeDee deep on a route in the first half, threw it over the wrong shoulder completely, 5 yards out of bounds, and CeeDee just turned to him and said, here, just waved at, not out there, here. Showed him up. CeeDee doesn't like him. All the bad rose back to the surface. Right when I thought I could trust this team, everything bubbled back to the surface, including George Pickens. So I got one baller on this team, one baller I can trust, and that's CeeDee Lamb. And what happens? I lose him for the second half. He goes up for a wild Dak throw and tries to circus catch it. First I thought he hurt his hand, then I thought he hurt his left shoulder. And then it came clear he just banged the back of his head on the turf, and he was upset because they took him in the tent and told him he couldn't play anymore. And clearly he wanted to play. Maybe that would have made the difference. But they said, no, you got to go home. You got to go to the locker room. Took his helmet. Ball game. Congratulations, Eagles. You just won the NFC East. So, without CeeDee, who you going to call? Number 3, George Pickens. Why did Mike Tomlin say no? More trouble than worth to George Pickens. Why did the Pittsburgh Steelers give him to us for a third-round draft pick? Why was he changing life in Dallas? And somewhere Mike Tomlin was chuckling and chortling and saying, just wait, because of tonight. George Pickens, first early play in the second half. The interception that quickly turned it in 27-9. We weren't coming back from 27-9. I don't care what you say. But you just got to fight for the football, and he didn't, and Robertson sort of got a little hand in, but it was mostly off Pickens' 2 hands. He just, I don't know, just too cool for school. He doesn't play hard every play. Other plays he took off, other routes he didn't run hard, balls he didn't come back to. It was going to take a miraculous effort, but he was going to have to lead the charge as the solo one receiver. And he didn't. So now we're stuck with a guy who's been perpetually, frighteningly late for meeting after meeting. He's been fined all year. He got fined going into the Raiders game, got benched early as he missed the team bus from the hotel. You're going to pay him more than you're going to pay CeeDee. I don't know. It's like everything went up in smoke right before our very eyes. Just when I thought I could trust, we forced no turnovers. We got no pass rush. We had one big turnover in the first half. Jake Ferguson trying to do too much got stripped as he's fighting for more yards. And then Jake Ferguson in the first half had a hands-to-the-face penalty that wiped out a deep ball penalty that George Pickens caused, because he causes lots of penalties. He's the best deep ball catcher in the league. And that cost us. So Jake in the first half cost us 14 points because he basically gave 14-7 to Detroit and then canceled 7 more with hands to the face. We had one call late in the game. It's 9:52 in the fourth, and we cut it to 30-27 on a bust. They finally busted one time. I don't know what Branch was doing, but he let Flournoy, who had a career night, Flournoy ended up catching 9 for 115, but he caught one gift where they just busted completely, and he had a walk-in touchdown. That got us a chance to go for 2 to cut it 30-27. Dak showed great patience. That was the one good play that he made all night. And did find Jake Ferguson for the 2 that cut it to 30-27. But you knew what was going to happen. We get no pressure. We did okay stopping the run on Jahmyr Gibbs, but we couldn't stop David Montgomery. He carried 6 times for 60 yards. Jahmyr was only 12 for 43. I can live with that. But Jahmyr caught 7 for 77. Can't live with that. Jamison Williams caught 7 more for 96. St. Brown caught 6 for 92, as I said. It's just too much, and they're coming at all the wrong times. All the wrong times. Just back break, back break, back break, back break. Same old crap. Team tease. Got me by the eyeballs. Crushing my eyeballs. Kicking me in the eyeballs. One play late. I don't know. I still don't think we would have won. There was a 3rd and 3 at the 11. They're 11. I thought Jake Ferguson got interfered with, and they called him for offensive pass interference on Anzalone. No, other way around. But would it have mattered? I don't know. We had to take another field goal. We took 5 field goals in a game of touchdown trading. It had to be a touchdown trading game. You're going to have to go win it 45-44, and we're taking field goal. Late in the first half, shoddy. He usually goes for these, but it's 4th and 4 at their 37, and we're getting the ball to start the second half. And I didn't have a huge problem with taking the field goal there to cut it to 20-9. But you, unless you think you can't stop them, and we couldn't. They got the ball back with 45 seconds left at their 26-yard line and just went boom, boom, boom. I can't defend that. And they get a field goal. And just, it was actually 17-9, because that made it 29 at halftime. So 17-9, we could have gone for it. I don't know. 17-9, maybe we don't go for 2 at that point. Maybe we cut it to 1 at half. That's the way you had to play that game, and Shoddy went shitty again and didn't play the game that way. I don't know. It was just deadheaded. It was just mistake after mistake. It was just same old sorry-ass Cowboys. Called the Eagles sorry-ass, but the truth is my team's the sorry-ass team in the division. It's team can't trust. It's just team tease. It's just sickening to watch this unfold. Where Dak, you know, just when I thought I could trust him, he took his safety. That was a safety. I don't care. They reviewed it. Boy, to my eye, that's a safety. That ball was not completely out of the end zone. At least the nose was over the goal line. I'm sorry, we got a break there, but you're stuck where you're kicking off the back line in the end zone. You're punting, and they're just going to go cash. We can't stop them because we get no pressure. Get no pressure. If Jared Goff just sits back there, reads like he's reading a novel on a sunny summer day, if you're going to let him do that, he's just going to pick you to pieces, and that's exactly what he threw for 309. We missed Clowney. You can't keep those DBs. I think Revel's really talented, but a couple times he got smoked. St. Brown got him on an out and up, just faked him, just deked him, and, hard right up. All he could do is grab him. Tesla got him one time. Fortunately, the ball went out of bounds. But again, this is his 3rd NFL game. I don't know. You need a pass rush. The pass rush that we had, and where was everybody else? I didn't see anybody else. I can't call any names. I can't give out any bouquets because we did nothing. But what did Dak do? What he always does. Lots of garbage yards. Lots of empty calorie yards. 31 of 47 for 376. He almost threw for 400 yards. But he got sacked 5 times. Javonte ran hard a few times, 17 for 67. It wasn't great, but we're so far behind, we're just throwing and throwing and throwing. CeeDee had 6 for 121 and like half. Baller. Guts. Heart. Run after catch. Pickens, 5 for 37. He just wasn't into it. I don't know why. I don't know. He's a weird kid, still acts like a kid. As Tomlin kept saying, you got to grow up, and they didn't think he was ever going to grow up. Weird kid. Just wasn't into it tonight the way he's usually into it. So that's it. We had our shot. We had a chance for a fairy tale ending. I loved what I saw for 3 weeks, and it was great while it lasted, but it lasted for 3 weeks. So I'm sorry, Cowboy Nation. I ache. My guts are ripped out. I got no use for having to go in there tomorrow and hear Aqib Talib shred me about all the things that I've been pounding my chest about my Dallas Cowboys. He lives in Dallas too. He'll be all over me tomorrow. Everybody will be all over me. But you know what? I've done it before, and I'll probably do it again because I live and die Dallas Cowboys. I have since I was 10 years old. And I get caught up, and I get misled, and I get teased into oblivion. Tonight, I got teased into oblivion. I guess the only silver lining is that last year it was 44-9 at Jerry World, Detroit over Dallas. 44-9. At least tonight, we're improving. It's 44-30. It really wasn't even close because Detroit played with more heart and guts and desire and all those great intangibles that just spill out of Dan Campbell's eyes and mouth. Detroit just wanted this game way, way worse than the Dallas Cowboys. You know, in the end, it's almost like we fat-catted. We sort of strutted into Detroit like we got this. How can a team that's 6-5-1 be overconfident? I think we were. I think they started to believe, as they used to say, their clippings, their clips. The world said, let there be Dallas. And the Cowboys said, watch this. All we have to do is roll that starred helmet out there onto the field, and Detroit will drop to his knees and say, it's yours. And instead, they dropped us to our knees by kicking us right in the stomach. It was hard to watch. And the sickening part about it was I could see it from the opening drive. We weren't ready. And then I had to watch that. I had to be tortured by team tees for 4 quarters that seemed like they would never, ever end. You got me. Unhappy birthday to me.